Okay, guys, we are here with Vanderpump Rules, Tom Sandoval. How's it going, Tom?
Great. Hanging out.
So, what have
You
you and
know?
Ariana been up to? Being in self isolation, hanging out at the new house. Have you been making some new cocktails?
Yeah. Yeah. And also been cooking. We both been working out actually a lot. Which is funny. Like I feel like everybody, people call it like the COVID 15. I feel like we've
Right.
like have gained the COVID 15. I feel like I've lost the COVID 15.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
yeah.
Are you doing like YouTube, like home workouts? I've seen a lot of it posted on social media.
Well, we have we kind of set up like a gym in one of our rooms. So we have like a treadmill, and then we have this tonal. It's a company called Tonal, and they make like this machine that like sits flat on a wall, and you can basically do like lat pull downs, bench, like everything. It's amazing.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you two are going to be jacked by the time you get out of quarantine. Like the rest of us,
Right?
not so much. Have you seen any of your other cast members? Has Tom been by?
Yeah, actually, Schwartz has been by here a couple times because we've been doing we set up a cameo so we could raise money for our TomTom employees because
Right.
TomTom's definitely closed. So have all of Ken and Lisa's other places, and I know people are struggling, and we just want to do anything we can to help out. I've definitely been there before. You know I
Mhm.
know we've all been in that place where we've been like living check to check, and so it's like devastating even to like lose one shift, let alone like, you know, weeks, possibly months of working.
Right. No, of course. I mean, so how much have you guys been able to raise so far? Are you raising a decent amount of money?
Yeah. Well, we've raised 14 grand, and then me and
Wow.
Schwartz said we would match it up to 10. So as of right now, we're at 24,
That's
you know?
amazing. That's so great.
Yeah. My goal is 45.
Hmm.
And that way I
Listen,
can, because
yeah.
we have 69 employees, and that way they'll get like around like $600. That's my goal.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. I mean, so thinking about like, California right now is obviously just like here in New York is kind of one of the hot spots for what's going on. What would you say to
Mhm.
people who still want to support local businesses, like especially restaurants? Like would you say is it buying gift cards? Is it ordering takeout? Like what would you say is the best thing for people to do to also help support?
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, definitely order takeout, or have something, delivered from them. I mean, that's about all they can do right now,
Yeah,
you know? I mean, but I know obviously money's tight with everyone, so it's, you do what you can, but obviously people gotta, if you're in a situation where, money's tight, you gotta look out for yourself too, Like,
absolutely. No. Yeah, it's true. Being in quarantine, are you watching anything either on Bravo or maybe on Netflix? I know everyone is talking about Tiger King, and I think a few of your castmates have talked about it too. So are you tuning into anything right now?
yeah, I did actually watch some Tiger King.
It's weird.
Uh, Ariana had it on, and I kind of got sucked into it. Yeah, it's a very, very strange show. We just kind of binge it all
Yeah,
in like one night.
right. Yeah, it's one
Uh,
of those. You do get sucked in, and you're just like, what am I watching? So, like, let's talk about
yeah.
this season. So, when you are watching everything back and sort of reliving what you've seen so far, have you learned anything about yourself or about the group at large just watching everything you guys are going through this season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it can be very frustrating. It seems to me like, I don't know, it seems to me like people really like to sort of like be like on a team together or something. I don't know, or have some weird sort of like unspoken alliance or something. It's so strange to me. Jax and I, obviously went through, some like a rough patch obviously before, like leading up to the wedding, and then afterwards we were totally fine. I hung out at like Brittany's dad's house after the wedding. Like we just kicked it, and then we were really tight. Like, you know, when we got back home, we were hanging out. But I think, you know, obviously as the season goes on, and you know, Jax, you know, I mean, we have like another like falling out or a little tiff.
Yeah.
And I think Jax was just trying to get ahead of it or something. I don't know what he was thinking, but and even then, we were cool after that, you know. I mean, we hung out. I mean, you know, he'd come into TomTom. I'd be over at his house.
Right.
But once the season started, it just like, I mean, he just relentlessly going after me on social media. I'd see like just complete bullshit or like ass tweets from Jax. And then I'd see him at like TomTom the next day. He'd come in and be like, "What's up, dude?" and like high five me. And I'm like, the fuck
like,
you
okay.
doing?
Right.
And like it was relentless. And then it kept going. And then finally I'm just like, dude, no. I don't know. It's just been really relentless, and I think it's I think it's sad, and I think it's gross. You know, Jax's wedding episode's airing, you know, which should be like the happiest moment of his life, and instead he's like, there's like 6 tweets about me, like you know what I mean? It's just really, it's like, dude, why would you be, if you don't like me, why would you even be talking about me? Like, just don't even talk about me. Talk about your wedding. Talk about how fun it was. I mean, what? I don't get it. It's just.
Yeah. Well, you know, we had Ariana on the show at this point, maybe like a month or so ago. And I was asking her, I was saying, do you feel like you always have to defend your relationship with Tom? And she basically was like, well, it's really only with this group of friends. Like, I don't understand it. So do you feel the same way? Is it like just sort of with this group of your friends that you feel like you have to always be defending yourself?
Yeah, it is. I mean, like Beau and Stassi were on Watch What Happens Live. And I guess somebody said, Andy asked Beau if he thought me asking Jax about the pastor came from like an authentic place. And Beau said no. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Right.
I'm like, what is wrong with what is up with these people? Like, if you don't think that, I'm like, dude, like, ask anybody where I come from and who I am. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus, that's crazy.
Well, it's sort of like, what other place are you really coming from? And, you know, and so
exactly,
it is.
It's not an easy thing to ask.
Right.
I mean, that was not an easy thing to bring up. Everybody thought it. It was on everybody's mind, and that's kind of that's been another very frustrating thing too, dealing with, like, you know, people will be like, oh my gosh, can you believe this is going on? Can you believe that's going on? And we'll be like, yeah, I know. And I'll be like, well, I mean, I'm gonna say something. This is crazy. And then I go and say something like, what are you talking about? You know, it's like, it's just crazy. I'm like, guys, we just talked about this. Are you kidding me right now?
Right. No, it's true. I mean, you know, and also a big part of this season, we've really seen Ariana struggle with depression, and she's been very open about it. And I think as her partner, you have been such a great support system. So, you know, thinking of that, you're welcome. I mean, what advice would you give other people who are dealing with something similar, like a partner who is struggling? You know, how do you be that support system for Ariana?
I can't really like say something specific. I think the best thing is just to be like present, like not like annoying.
Yeah.
Just being like present, like when somebody's talking, when you're having conversations, when you're hanging out, like be present. I don't know. Try to do things that you know you guys love, and yeah. I mean,
well, you know, she mentioned to us too when she was on the show that, like, when she was in New York, you guys were on the phone every single night, and you really talk about everything. Like, I think you let her talk and you listen and you do the same thing. And I think it's kind of just bringing it back to just kind of the fundamentals of being a good friend to each other in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I mean, like, we are like best friends, and we like, there's such a connection as far as like, I don't know, I find that, like, you know, maybe other relationships I've been in or whatever, even relationships I've seen my friends in, like, there's a disconnect with the person that they're with. And I feel like the biggest thing is to have that connection, to hang out, to do things together, to, like, but also to know that that's the person that you should be with to begin with, because I feel like sometimes people, like, are in relationships that maybe, you know, they might not necessarily have that connection, but they've been in it for a long time, so they just kind of stay in that relationship, and then they're just, like, always looking for that time where they can go hang out with their friends, you know?
Right. No,
like,
totally.
Ariana is my best friend, so.
Yeah. And you've got a great best friend, I think.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I agree.
So you threw an extra themed party where it was just like, come as your most extra self, pretty much. Jax threw a little bit of shade. I feel like now that he's married, he's sort of like, oh, what are these theme parties? Like, we're too old for theme parties. But then for his 40th birthday, he still chose to dress up in costume, right? So, like, what's the deal with that?
I don't know, man. Like, half the time when Jax talks, I feel like I'm just listening to, like, it's like, I swear, he reminds me of, like, Donald Trump. I like, he does. It's like the guy just says anything he needs to say in any moment to, like, get whatever reaction he wants. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like he's just, I had no idea. I mean, I had no idea that Jax was, like, being such a freaking hater. You know what I mean? I had no idea. Jax never dresses up for, like, any party. This is not new.
That's
just
true.
Like, I mean, he, you know, we were friends. He didn't show up to my, me and Ariana had our cocktail book release party. He didn't show up for that. He didn't show up for Stassi's book party, or her book release. Like, it wasn't the one that was on camera. That was just a book signing thing.
Right.
But she had her book release, and in fact, I think it was in March or April, and Ariana and I were shooting our cocktail book, and we were literally, like, we had, like, 6 shoot days that were, like, 12 to 15 hours long.
Damn.
And we came after, like, our 3rd day. We came right from shooting. We were so exhausted. We show up, and Jax, like, didn't even come. And he lived in West Hollywood. We were coming from the Valley. Lived in West Hollywood. He just didn't feel like coming. He's the only person that didn't show up. So it's just, I don't know. It's just how he is.
I know. I mean, it's sort of like, we've sort of known these things for a while.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. I know. If, like, if I'm having a party, Jax is, like, you know, if it's some sort of theme, or if anybody's having a theme party, like, he's, you know, he's gonna grab whatever he can on the way out the door, maybe, or something. You know.
Well, I also want to talk about the sort of mixed reactions regarding your fake arrest with the other SURvers. So in that situation, did you understand where Katie was coming from?
I understand, like, you know, seeing somebody get arrested can be very triggering to people.
Yeah.
You know, I totally understand that. Either way, I mean, I feel like everybody's kind of entitled to their feelings and the way they feel about something and how it makes them feel. So I get where Katie is coming from. I maybe get where Schwartz is coming from. But either way, I mean, I felt like Schwartz was just way out of line. Like, you know, I mean, I just, you know, people can get annoying when they're drunk, or they'll fixate. Yeah, like, welcome to the real world. That happens. But, like, he just was
right.
I was like, dude, I wanted to put him in a headlock. I was like, dude, shut up.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
Schwartz, he can, you know, he's normally very, very nice, very sweet, and, like, but every once in a while, like, something gets him triggered, you know. Yeah. And then he's like, you can't talk to the guy. He's just, like, fucking done, you know.
Yeah, right. I wanted to ask you about some of the newbies this season. So when it comes to Max, have you ever tried to, like, sit him down and give him some relationship advice?
Dude, yes. When I first met Max, he was just coming out of almost like a 2-year relationship was ending with him and his girlfriend, and he was going through it, and I think being that emotionally vulnerable with somebody and feeling like he doesn't have control of his emotions really like bothers him.
Yeah.
So I think he struggles with that, and I think it sort of that affects him like in his relationships, and obviously, going out and meeting hooking up with new girls or whatever, like it's a distraction from that,
Right.
And I think he's realizing that more lately, that it's just not a good thing, and it's not. I mean, I think Max is he's young, and he's in LA, he's young, he's manager of a popular restaurant, like
Right.
I get it,
Yeah, you were once there in a sense, we all were.
Dude, I was a club promoter in Miami and New York. And a model,
Right. Have you seen him change? Like, since the situation with Dayna, did that have maybe a bigger impact on him and make him want to be more self-aware and sort of look in and try to change?
It definitely has. I've seen a change in him for sure, especially more recently. It's crazy, watching the show, watching things unfold. You learn a lot about yourself and situation, and I think it's always a chance for people to grow, and to be better, to learn, or to not learn.
Right. Either way.
Yeah.
I saw that you were recently on the Kelly Clarkson show, and I love Kelly Clarkson. Did you freak out when you met her?
Yeah. I think Kelly Clarkson is the shit. And obviously, Ariana does, but there's something about her that is very it's obviously she's a huge deal, but she just seems so she's not intimidating the way you would feel around certain celebrities. She's very you feel like, oh yeah, Kelly. Right. I don't know.
She's very approachable. I feel like she's a very approachable kind of celebrity.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And she was super sweet, super nice. And then also, I met Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh my God, that's cool.
He's a huge hero of mine. I love him. And I asked him questions, and he wanted to meet us, so we went over to his green room, and I was asking him questions about dark matter, and he gave me some good answers.
Damn, that's so cool. That's really cool. So I was going to say, who does Tom Sandoval get starstruck by? Who is someone that you've met besides Neil? We'll say besides Neil.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Definitely Sia and Lady Gaga. That was pretty cool.
Those are pretty major, yeah.
I met Sylvester Stallone when I was working at Villa Blanca, bartending. That was I grew up watching Sylvester Stallone movies. I loved action movies as a kid. I still love watching, when I'm working out in the gym, I'll put on old Commando or Arnold Schwarzenegger movies or Rambo or
Right.
I just love those
That's your inspiration, right? You're that's what I'm trying to look.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, Tom, thank you so much for calling in. We really appreciate it. And I hope you and Ariana stay safe, stay healthy, mix up some cocktails, keep working out. We're looking forward to seeing the post-COVID, summer bod that you guys are going to be rocking.
Me too, man.
Joining me now on the phone is Raquel from Vanderpump Rules. Hi, Raquel.
Hi, Megan. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well over here at home in LA.
Yes. Tell me, how are things going in self-isolation?
I think they're going pretty well, honestly. I could honestly get used to this. I've been doing Pilates 3 days a week and through Instagram Live, and it's been like really good for me.
Yeah.
And James and I are making home cooked meals, and they're delicious, and we're playing video games and hanging out. So hopefully it doesn't go too much longer, because I don't know how long I can, stand doing everything. But so far it's manageable.
Are you guys driving each other crazy at all?
No, I don't think we're driving each other crazy. My dog is driving me a little bit crazy. He's crying right now.
That's so funny.
He's like all this attention is like now the new norm, and he needs attention 24/7 now.
Right? Pets, man, they just like do not know how to handle all of this. They're freaking out. So I actually did an interview with James not too long ago, and it was really interesting, the outpouring of support that we got from listeners who responded and really said that, like, wow, James seems like a different person. We've seen James on this like first half of the season, but I know that he's gone without drinking for a while, and now we're just starting to see that part on the show. Yeah. And it's just interesting how it comes through. Even in his interviews, he just sounds like a different person.
My response to that is it's still the same James. This is the James that I fell in love with and that I've been talking about. And no one, seemed to believe me at the time. But, now that he's not drinking, he is able to think clearer, and he's not overcome by irrational emotions anymore.
Yeah. Do you feel like your relationship has changed since the drinking stopped?
Definitely. We, he's very kind. He asks me, he makes sure my needs are met, and we're very, vocal about how we're feeling at all times. And he expresses to me that, like, it is difficult, but the longer he goes not drinking, the easier it gets, because he's in this new routine and he's making music and he's focused, and in turn, our relationship is doing really well.
I also feel like he's turned a corner with other people on the show. Jax was singing his praises to me the last time I talked to Jax, and it was like, wow, this is different than what I'm seeing right now on the show.
It's so funny. I know they like talk to each other on Twitter, and like they're all like buddy now. It's so funny. But I think it's because James is just a really funny, charismatic guy naturally. So now, that's really able to come through, and that's really in the forefront instead of, focusing on the bad things. We get more of the good.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about this wine night that we see on the show at Katie's house. It started so great. You were invited. It seems like the friendships are deepening between you and the other girls. And then it just
all the parties start so great. And then there's always something that takes a turn.
What happened? You have to walk me through it, because I don't understand.
I don't understand a lot of the time either. And most of the time I'm caught very off guard, because, Lala and I have our differences and see things in very different perspectives. And we're able to come together and kind of like move past that, as you saw at our coffee date earlier. And then, something takes a turn, or maybe she talks to someone and it changes her mind, or I don't really know. I couldn't tell you, but she definitely has been coming after me this season.
It seems like you guys will be on a good note, but then something turns and I just can't figure out what it is that makes her so angry at you.
You know, I don't think it's something, I couldn't imagine it being something that I did personally to her. I think that she's, you know, there's something really dark and broken inside of her, and she's carrying around a lot of resentment. So when she goes attacking me, I feel like in a way I can't take what she's saying personally, because, you know, she's just not coming from a place with a clear head. She can't be, you know?
Right. Well, I think it was Dayna who in the episode said that she feels like Lala must have a crush on James for her to react the way she does.
I mean, maybe it wouldn't be the first time. I mean, we've seen, you know, Kristen not be over James and Hope and whatnot, but honestly, it's probably not. She's, I know that she's in love with Randall and they're getting married, and we're very excited for her in that. I don't know if it's like a jealousy thing or if she's, I don't know. I sparked something inside of her to act that way. I don't think she has a crush on James. I think it's just, you know, they were really good friends at a point and they want to be friends again. And it's just more of a complicated friendship.
Right. When's the last time you've seen Lala?
The last time I saw her was at her 1-year sobriety party at TomTom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was really nice. But I did speak to her over the phone after last week's episode, because she reached out to me and she said she felt like she had a pit in her stomach after watching that episode. And I told her I felt the exact same way. And, you know, she apologized to me and she said that she came to me from a place of genuine concern when she came over to talk to me about James going to the party. But it kind of escalated. I think there was something that was triggered in that moment.
I think, yeah, the mention of Logan, too, probably didn't help things.
Well, yeah, I feel like Logan's a trigger word for both of us because, you know, I've had a really good friendship with Logan, which, like, I feel like not a lot of people know. Logan, James, and I were really, really good friends. And the part that Logan just couldn't get over was that I was going to go home with James at the end of each day. So, you know, it's just discouraging. I hate when Lala brought up that rumor again because, like, we're so far past this. We already resolved all of this, and for her to bring it up again is just like, there's no need.
Right. Because this season is different, you know, there's the newer SURvers and then it's the OG SURvers.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you closer to?
I guess I'm closer to the newer SURvers because I'm actually working with them week in and week out. And I've developed really good friendships with Dayna and Danica. They're like really cool girls, and you know, I like them a lot, and I like working with them and hanging out with them outside of work. But also, I'm really close with Scheana. We've been hanging out more often now than before, and she's been a really good friend to me through all of this. And Ariana and I are good friends as well. So I guess those would be my top 4 girls right there.
What do you think of Scheana's new boyfriend?
Oh my gosh, I love Brock. I love Brock. I'm so happy that they're still together right now too, because in the beginning I was like, we'll see where this goes. Scheana has a new fling, and it usually is like a come and go kind of thing where I don't even know the guy's name. But Brock is a different story, and he's a really good guy and treats Scheana right, and they have a good friendship. And we play on Fortnite together. We squad up James, Brock, and me. And, it's fun. And Sheena's in the background, so we all have a good time with that.
That's amazing. What has been the hardest part of becoming a server?
I guess the hardest part is remembering people's orders. Or like writing them down fast enough, especially when I go to a table and I'm, just introducing myself and pouring some water maybe, and they're ready to order right away. And I don't have time to get out my pen and paper to write it down. I'm just like, okay, they wanted a ribeye steak with mashed potatoes and broccolini. Okay. And like repeating. So I don't mess up, which I have before.
You have a lot of managers at SUR. Who is the scariest?
I would say Diana, which you don't really see a lot on the show.
Right. Well, we do know that Kristen told her to suck a dick.
Yes. I feel like our relationship has gotten better because I always say, hi, Diana. But she's probably the most stern. And when I first started working at SUR, she came up to me and she's like, Raquel, you have a bad Yelp review. You need to learn all the drinks on the drink menu. I'm like, I was terrified. I was horrified. I'm like, I have a bad Yelp review. Like, my life is over. But then I studied the bar menu and came back to her, and I presented to her all the ingredients in every drink. So she was happy about that.
Amazing. In this new normal, who knows what's going to happen with any of the reunions. But if there is a reunion for Vanderpump Rules, how will you possibly outdo last season's dress?
Honestly, I can't.
You can't.
No, I can't. So I'm not even going to try. I already picked out a few options that I might wear if there ever is a reunion. And it definitely is not going to come up to par with last year's dress. And I'm okay with that because that was my first reunion. That was my entrance. And I felt really confident wearing it. But this year I am going to take it down a little bit and, really focus on, what I'm saying instead of the dress that I'm wearing.
Amazing.